Welcome to the Orange Coast Unitarian Universalist Church on Zoom. We respectfully recognize that our church property rests on a Hachiman and Tongva land. My name is Jan Mabey, and I am your worship associate today. I am joined by Beth Syverson, our Director of Music Ministries, in welcoming you this morning. Reverend Judy, our Director of Religious Education, already held classes for the children earlier this morning, and she will offer one for youth after the service. We also would like to recognize that many volunteers have helped put this service together today. You can see their names on the screen. This morning, as part of our effort to make our services more accessible, we've enabled closed captioning throughout the service. Each participant can individually control whether to display the subtitles or hide them. If you'd like to turn on or turn off the subtitles, please see the detailed instructions that we are sending you through chat. Our minister, Reverend Sean Wilshire, is not leading the service today, but she has a message for you.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're having an absolutely fabulous day. I know you're going to have an absolutely fabulous, wonderful service. So for those of you who may not know me, I'm Reverend Sean Wilshire, and I proudly serve this wonderful, beloved community. It really is fabulous. And that's what I encourage you to do. If you're new, you haven't quite gotten to know people, or you're just kind of coming in and lurking a little bit, that's okay. But what I really encourage you to do is get to know this community. And one of the best ways to do that is at the end of the service, we have these 20 minutes of breakout sessions to get to know people. And the nice thing is that everybody in there is in the same boat. It's random who gets put in there, so there's no real cliques going on or that sort of thing. That can happen sometimes, when we do in-person church, people get together with their friends, and that's totally cool and wonderful. But this way, you get to know new people and different people, which is just wonderful. And everybody's there. And this is a really friendly bunch. They are truly wonderful, loving, beautiful people, and I can't wait for you to get to know them. So I encourage you to do that. All right, without further ado, have an absolutely fabulous service.
Today, our special guest speaker is the Reverend Dr. Tom Owen-Towle. The Reverend Dr. Tom Owen-Towle was ordained in 1967 and is still preaching hither and yon throughout the Pacific Southwest District. When the pandemic is over, Tom will re-engage his community commitments, volunteering at the homeless center, singing in nursing homes, and mentoring young people. His latest book, Making Peace with Our Own Death, is now available from Amazon. Tom is delighted as always to be returning to Orange Coast, even if via Zooming. I would like you to open your chat box, and if you haven't already, say hello this morning. As a Unitarian Universalist, we have many different beliefs, but we are one loving community. We are bound together not by a common set of rules or beliefs, but rather a covenant. A covenant is simply a promise that whatever our beliefs, we accept one another and encourage each other in spiritual growth. We affirm that all life has inherent value and that all existence are interconnected. We strive for justice and compassion in our deeds and relationships, and we are committed to creating a welcoming community without regard to the traits that sometimes divide people. I want to extend a special welcome to visitors. If you're seeking a spiritual home, we hope that you will find it here. After the service, we will be placing everyone who remains into Zoom breakout rooms for 20 minutes of coffee and conversation. Everyone is welcome to join in, and it's a great way to get to know people in the congregation. Our worship begins with the lighting of the chalice, the symbol of the Unitarian Universalist tradition. And as we light it, we say our unison affirmation. If you have a chalice at home, we can light them together. Please join me now as we begin. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. This we affirm together.
Good morning. Please join me in our opening song.
Our call to worship this morning comes from Norman Cousins. The capacity for hope is the most significant fact in life. It provides humans with a sense of destination and the energy to get started.
But news. Life's like music, there's so much still unsung. Make it magic, there's so much still to come. 'Cause we're all unfinished songs waiting for the best part to come along. Hey, 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 hey. And we're all pictures half drawn. We can be anything we want. Hey, 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 hey. You can write the songs and write the story. Live all of it right in all its glory. Take the time to make the time to make each moment count. It's your life, it's your call. Grab the chance, have it all. 'Cause we're all unfinished songs waiting for the best part to come along. Hey, 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 hey. And we're all pictures half drawn. We can be anything we want. Hey, 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 hey. 'Cause we're all unfinished songs waiting for the best part to come along. Hey, 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 hey. You can write the song and write the story. Hey, hey, hey.
I've selected as my reading this morning a passage from Amanda Gorman's The Hill We Climb. She was recently honored, as we all remember, as the inaugural day poet laureate, Amanda Gorman. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We are striving to forge a union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of humankind. And so we lift our gaze not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first. We must first put our differences aside, lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. One thing is certain: if we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Please join me in moments of silent meditation and prayer. Oh, great Spirit of life, of love, and of liberation, be our companion this morning as we struggle to create a universe of greater joy and justice. Be our companion, especially for those who are suffering from the pandemic, the loss, the death, the confusion, the uncertainty, the economic inequity, and the racial violence. Our prayer is simple: be our companion. And may there be both peace and unrest in our lives, sufficient peace to ground us and to bring us serenity, but enough unrest to keep us morally awake and spiritually on our toes. Shalom, salam, ashe, namaste, blessed be, and amen. And please sing along with the next video.
Things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that caused me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 Hey, yeah. I am light, I am light. I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. All light. Oh, light, yeah, oh, light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light, yeah. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
Today, on the first day of spring, I offer special gratitude to Reverend Sean Wiltshire for her invitation. Beth Syverson as your music director and minister, and Jan Marby as worship associate, and your entire Zoom worship team for all you've done to support this service today at Orange Coast. I know so many of you personally, and I very much look forward to the next time I'm with you in the flesh. It will happen, perhaps even in 2021. If we're going to embody the words of inaugural poet laureate Amanda Gorman in the days ahead, we will need, as she urges, to merge mercy with might and might with right, so love can become our legacy. And to do so, we must fill our souls with deep and expansive hope. The Apostle Paul said, faith, hope, and love abide, and the greatest of these is love. Well, folks, they're all great. They're all critical, but hope is the unsung virtue of the three, and it dare not get lost in the shuffle. For we can't keep faith nor shared love if we're not brimming with genuine, durable hope. Hope means believing in spite of the evidence and watching the evidence change. No, make that helping the evidence change. Hope is the dynamic of history and the energy of transformation. And every morning we wake up, we want to launch the day with a full dose of hopefulness. We want to make sure that we choose the team of hopers rather than the squad of cynics. We want to join Hopers United. Now, I'm not suggesting the world's problems are solved, far from it. But good and hopeful news too frequently slips beneath our radar screens nowadays, and it's the job of those of us who have chosen to belong to a genuinely life-affirming, this-worldly hopeful faith, such as Unitarian Universalism, to stand tall and to shout forth items of good news. Or as Buddhist comedian Wes Nisker puts it, if you don't like the news, then go out and make some yourself. Did you realize the fact that although the world's population has doubled between 1960 and now, the rate of growth is now finally declining? Families on every continent are having fewer children, and in the past 30 years, the global average fertility rate has fallen from 6 children per woman to 2.8 children per woman. That's hopeful news, folks. That's hopeful news. And what about food? Fewer people are malnourished today than in 1970 because global food production has grown faster than the population. Again, hopeful news. And literacy in the developing world has jumped from 47% to 70% today, meaning that more people have tools to improve their standard of living. Now, I know negative stats exist as well, particularly in the underdeveloped lands. And certainly things often seem dire and desperate right here in our very own homeland, especially during this pandemic year. But friends, don't forget the positive truths. It soothes the soul to know that progress isn't a pipe dream, but a genuine possibility when people put their hearts and minds into making the world a better place. When you and I don't just make wishes, but embody resolves. Remember, We're a religion of deeds, not creeds. And so what dreams, both private and public, are you realizing in your daily life today on the spring equinox? Are you saying yes to love more genuinely those near and dear to you? Are you saying yes to a world, one world family, to a planet at peace, to the well-being of all life? Try saying yeses aloud every day. Yeses from the heart, genuine yeses. And watch some of your yeses take wings and become more real than you could ever imagine. Yes, I can. Yes, we can. Because as the Unitarian Universalist, we've consciously thrown our lot with an unrelentingly hopeful faith. And by hope, I'm not referring to optimism. The optimist tends to be fanciful and dreamy-eyed, often leaving the world's problems up to George or God, Georgette or Goddess to solve, while remaining a bouncy, mindless cheerleader on the sidelines. The optimist can resemble the person who gazes at the stars, but is perennially at the mercy of puddles in the road. Instead, the hoper isn't convinced that something will happen, but is willing to work his or her rear off to make sure that it might just come to be. The optimist lays back. The hoper moves forward. The hoper is an activated human being, one who arouses in self and others a passion for the possible. Hopers stay on purpose even when not immediately successful. Now, the hoper differs from the pessimist as well as from the optimist. Realism would often demand pessimism. But the hopeful person talks not in terms of crisis, a concept that usually overwhelms and immobilizes us, but in terms of issues and challenges and jobs with our names on some of them. You see, everything grows manageable when reducible to doable tasks. Remember, hope arouses passion for the possible. Hopers know that the best antidepressant on the market involves movement, movement of mouth, movement of body, movement of conscience, movement of heart, moving outside our self-pity to connect with the larger world in specific deeds of deep, authentic kindness. Cynicism is all around us. In fact, in the past few years, a new sort of what I would call progressive cynicism has arisen. Progressive cynics harbor the conviction that Western culture and American society are hopelessly oppressive. Now, I would agree that our culture is drenched in racism and sexism and homophobia and a whole array of interlinking oppressions. We have to work daily to keep a civil war from reoccurring in America. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But we Unitarian Universalists believe that cynicism is spiritual treason. We harbor a bias that leads us to assert that no problem in human relations is ever truly insoluble. Now, we may never solve it in our lifetimes, but you and I belong to a religion that refuses to quit on justice, quit on mercy, quit on civilization. We keep on keeping on because we're incurable hopers. Our goal is faithfulness, not success. Especially in the greater world, it's downright crucial for each of us in our own ways to go on record as opposing evil. Of course, it's important to be effective in halting some of the rampant injustices in society. But if we can't stop them during our lifetime, then at least we must oppose them daily. In counseling, whenever someone felt despondent, the best therapeutic advice I could ever muster was to help them break down their seemingly monstrous malaise into manageable units, and then to locate one or two relatively easy beginning assignments, actions they might successfully achieve in order to nibble away at their misery. No one ever left my office without homework. The tasks could be small. They usually were, seemingly inconsequential, but slowly and surely a breakthrough might emerge. For when we're weary and beaten down, it's wise for us to do small rather than think big, to take a step rather than fantasize a leap. Of course, we can't say or bear everything, but we can say some things, and we can bear a lot, and we must. If not now, on March 21st, 2021, when? If not us, who? Remember, my siblings, the core doctrine of our Unitarian heritage is semper reformanda, always reforming and being reformed, always reforming and being reformed. It means that you and I can evolve and grow and change spiritually all our days and nights on earth. That's good news. That's hopeful news. Here's a personal example. In my men's soulful and prophetic work since 1973, I've invariably employed as shorthand the self-identification of WHAM, W-H-A-A-M-M, WHAM. That is white, heterosexual, Anglo-American, able-bodied, middle-class male. And as a member of WHAM, I've been a lifelong carrier of unearned privilege and power, and must labor daily to disrupt, if not dismantle, my very own condition. And to do so, I add an ER, ever reforming, semper reformanda, to my identity and become a whammer. Now, to be sure, as a homestretch elder entering my 80th year on earth, as a whammer, my seasons are numbered. Yet they're currently filled with growing faith and hope and love. Despite our over 400 years of virulent, intractable racism, I perceive shining sparks of promise. The protests throughout America and abroad in response to the murder of African Americans have been essentially peaceful and purposeful. They're not only transpiring in cities, but in rural communities as well. And these rallies and marches are bursting with greater numbers of whites and younger folks than ever before. Surfers, med students, skateboarders, and corporate lawyers are joining hands for greater police reform in laid-back San Diego. How's it going in Orange County? You see, this newer activist generation is signing on as lifers in hot and deep pursuit of forging once and for all a multi-racial democracy. And the soul of this grizzled civil rights veteran, whose very life was changed when marching in Selma back in 1965, is surging with positivity as fresh troops of moral lieutenants are fighting anti-Blackness with righteous rage. And recently, within the span of 1 week, there was hopeful news of the first in a series of lawsuits siding with Standing Rock tribal sovereignty in opposition to the Dakota Access Pipeline. Plus those surprising Supreme Court's decisions support of the rights of dreamers and LGBTQIA plus folks. And note the unstinting commitment and labor of our new administration to heal the divisions in our country. Now, these are tiny and awkward steps, to be sure, but they're steps forward, onward, toward greater justice and joy, semper reformanda. And there's more good news to report. Our granddaughter, Corinne, currently teaching English as a second language in South Korea, is waking up as well. Here's a bit of portion of the passionate letter she penned after the police murders of Black Americans. Hey, Graham and Gramp, why haven't I been outraged my entire life? It's taken me 22 years to discover the verb in activism. It's a word that requires action. It's taken me this long to find that being an ally isn't synonymous with being not racist. And all I can really say is, thank goodness it didn't take me a moment long. 2020 may be the year that we woke up. Corinne, oh dear granddaughter, your fearlessness is palpable. We can feel your energy toward restructuring the soul of your native soil. And Corinne, there's no need to apologize that you're getting truth at the age of 22. John Lewis, at the age of 21, signed on as one of the original Freedom Riders. John Lewis spent 34 years as the conscience of Congress and was writing legislation to secure voters' rights the week before he died at the age of 80. Corinne, you are choosing, starting right now, like Brother John, to get into good, necessary trouble and to become a lifer for greater freedom and justice for all. Ever onward, Corinne. Semper reformanda, in the name of love. Join forces with 22-year-old sister Amanda Gorman. Simply stay woke. Stay unfinished. So my fellow UUs, I'm urging us to choose the team of hopers, starting here and starting now, to embody hope, to be hope, whenever and wherever your name's called. For hope's the central imperative of your chosen faith, and hope, my friends, is the power that keeps us awake and alive. In closing, imagine 3 candles burning slowly. The ambience is so soft, you can hear the candles speak. And the first candle says, I am faith, but these days I'm no longer indispensable. Then faith's flame slowly diminishes and dies out. And the second candle pipes up, I am love, and I haven't the strength to stay lit much longer. People fail to understand my power and reduce me to schmaltz and syrup. And waiting no longer, the candle of love weakens and then goes out completely. Suddenly, a child enters the room and sees the two candles no longer burning and begins to weep and wail. Faith and love. Why aren't you burning? You're supposed to stay lit until the very end. I can't find my way in the world without the two of you. And then a third candle speaks gently yet firmly to the little girl. Don't be afraid, my child, for I am hope. And while I still burn, we can relight the other two candles. For whenever the candle of hope stays aglow, there's enough candle power to light faith and light love throughout our hearts and throughout our homes and throughout our world. Oh, yes, there is. You bet there is. And now let us join together for our closing hymn. Come, sing a song with me.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Unitarian Universalist congregations are fully self-supporting, meaning that members and friends raise all funds for the operating budget, ministries, and programs of the church. We are ever grateful for your gifts of time, treasure, and talent. OCUUC amplifies that spirit of generosity by sharing half of the plate we receive with an organization that shares our values. This month, we are supporting Stand Up for Kids, whose mission is to end the cycle of youth homelessness. They do this every day in cities across America, one youth at a time. The volunteers and staff are there to empower homeless and at-risk youth toward lifelong personal growth and to create in those youth a sincere belief in themselves through open, straightforward counseling, mentoring, and life skills training. Indeed, these youth are learning they are not broken. You can find out more about Stand Up for Kids through their website at standupforkids.org. There are multiple ways in which you can support the church and this organization. You can mail a check, you can go through our website, use an app called Give Plus, or by texting. The choice is yours. All the information is on the website should you need it. As always, thank you for your generosity. Thank you, Beth. As many of you know, it is that time of year that we need to build our budget, and we ask all of you to make your yearly financial pledge to the church. For those of you that are new, our pledge drive is a lot like NPR's pledge drive. We need our members to contribute. Our fiscal year starts in July, so we are setting our budget now and asking you to pledge your annual amount for the 21-22 year. You should have received your pledge card in the mail, but you can also simply pledge from our website. As part of our drive this year, the pledge committee thought it might be fun for you all to see what goes on behind the scenes at church. Last Sunday, we saw some of the renovations happening at our physical church. Today, Beth Syverson, our Director of Music Ministries, is giving you an idea of all the work that she and the choir put into the music they record for Sunday here on Zoom. Let's watch.
We're going to show you what goes into creating a virtual choir video.
After I've chosen a song for the choir to record, my first task is to create the accompaniment track and guide tracks that the singers will listen to while they are recording. This is the audio editing program I use. The colored rows are different voice parts, and the blobs you see are the sound waves. First, I record the soprano part, then the alto part, then the tenor part. I can't sing low enough to sing bass, so I record that using my keyboard instead. After recording the overall guide track, I create separate guide tracks for each voice part, with their melody louder than the others. When the singer's ready to record, they need to set up their phone at eye level with good lighting, a relatively plain background, and their sheet music or lyrics very close by so their eyes aren't darting around on the video. This is a surprisingly complicated setup. Many of our home studios have evolved over the past year, adding ring lights, tripods, backdrops, and homemade stands. Plus, the singers have to wear our choir uniform, solid colored tops, and make sure their hair and face look presentable. They're probably wearing pajamas on their bottom half, but no one will know. Once everything is set up, it's time to press that record button. Most singers have to try several times before getting a recording that is acceptable to them.
Guide us.
I'm going to start over.
Next, I take each individual recording and line it up against my guide track. Then I listen to each section, sopranos, altos, tenors, and basses, to make sure the singers are lined up rhythmically and in tune with each other. After everyone is singing together and in tune, I add equalization, compression, and reverb to all the voices, a different mix for each voice part. I listen keenly and make minor adjustments with sections or even individual voices. Each voice needs to be balanced so no one sticks out. After I'm satisfied with the audio recording, it's time to export the audio into an MP3 and import it into my video editing program. At this point, I have to choose a background color or image. I have to line up the audio with the video so the singer's lips are synced up. Then I have to crop each video so each head on the grid is about the same size. Then I have to figure out how to arrange all the videos. This usually takes more math than I really like to use. Somehow I figure it out. After the singers are assembled in the video, I can add crossfades, zooms, and other effects. And I also usually add the lyrics at this point. Once the video is done, I usually have one or two people preview the video to make sure everything's formatted correctly and that the audio sounds good. Sometimes after working with a song for a long time, my ears get numb, so it's very helpful to have someone else give me their feedback. When I'm happy with the video, I have to export it as an MP3 and upload it to Google Slides. Then we set the video to autoplay on the slideshow, and we practice it at the Saturday tech rehearsal. Then on Sunday morning, everyone gets to see the finished product. By the time the video comes out, the choir is already on to the next project and they have forgotten what they sang. But they get to enjoy the assemblage over and over once I upload the video to our YouTube channel. Thanks for taking a look behind the scenes of Orange Coast Choir's productions. We are very much looking forward to singing in the same room together again. This is just not anywhere close to being the same thing. But we have all enjoyed learning many new things and challenging ourselves beyond what we'd ever imagined we'd do. Thank you.
Amazing. Please join in singing We Gather Together, a song that puts our intentions into words and expresses our gratitude for the many gifts we share.
Gather together, we gather as one, for peace, love, and justice for everyone. We give from our hearts to show that we care. We can change lives with what we share.
Now is that time when we honor the important events of our lives. You are invited, one and all, whether you are a member, a friend, or visitor, to participate in our weekly rituals of joys and sorrows. Perhaps you came here today holding something close to your heart, moments from the last days or hours that have struck you at your core. If you'd like to honor such a profound joy or sorrow, you are invited to do so. You can do this by lighting a candle at home, It's a wonderful way to honor what you hold in your heart. If you would like to share your joy or sorrow with the congregation, you can write it in the chat. Let us take a few moments in contemplation as Beth plays some music, and then I will begin reading the joys and sorrows out loud. Please forgive me if I miss a joy or sorrow. You can help me not to miss any by waiting to type any comments to an expressed joy or sorrow until we are finished. I received an email from Sarah J., and she lights a candle of gratitude for all of the prayers, healing energy, text, pictures, videos, cards, flowers, and messages. She's so thankful for her OCUUC family and would like to send a special shout out to Beth and the choir. She is happy to be home from the hospital. Linda C. It's a great joy that one of her grandsons has just gotten engaged to a wonderful woman. We are loved already. Thank you. Karen K. We are enough people to start an evening sermon discussion group. Our first meeting is Wednesday at 7. Woo-hoo. And Hannah A. So grateful that most of my family has now had both vaccines. That is awesome. Jordan B. I have a candle of joy for all the blessings I've been experiencing lately. And this beautiful part I get to do service at and my morning routine at every day. #LoveSit. Thank you. Great message today received. Tracy D. Wow. Thank you, Beth and singers. Joan A. Thank you to everyone who reached out with loving thoughts for my husband recently who was diagnosed with ALS. We are looking into a treatment in Germany. Oh, good luck, Joan. Jeff A. I have joy. My parents and sister have all finished being vaccinated, so we can start visiting again. Not exciting. Sandy and Don. Thank you, Beth, for the behind-the-scenes music on Zoom presentation. Wow. Amelia R. A joy. My 95-year-old mom made it through the pandemic thus far, long enough to go out again with us, a trip to a beautiful garden. That sounds wonderful. Francie C. I have a joy. So grateful for the CC today, especially since I misplaced my hearing aids yesterday. Closed caption. Hope to find them soon. Always good to see you and hear you in the pulpit, Reverend Tom. Angie A. I got my second shot this morning. I'm a high school teacher. It helps get us closer to a normal future for all the kids in school. Great job. Jan R. It was my joy to go out shopping for the first time in over a year, alone, all by myself. Yay. Alex. It was a joy to see my cousin, Chris Wilkie, playing lute this morning. Thank you, Beth, for incorporating. Oh, he was wonderful, Alex. Thank you for having him. Sue's iPad. Wonderful service by talented people. The sermon was excellent. Yay. Paula P. I am thankful that my son is getting his vaccine after multiple difficulties. Alan. Please think of my mother, who just got back from the hospital after a week to find out her boyfriend Arnold had passed away. He was nice, sharp, and witty. He served as a sniper in a Henang in 1948. I will miss him too. Oh, sorry to hear that. Let us hold in love all the joys and celebrations and all the hurts and sadness, both spoken and silent. Let our joys remind us to be thankful. Our concerns remind us to hope and our sorrows remind us to connect. Let all of these moments remind us that we are not alone. Let us join together as we extinguish the flame of our chalice and say together, we extinguish our chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. We carry these in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are a congregation made up of all people who believe differently. And yet, when we are together, we make up one loving community. We need not think alike to love alike. If you are a guest, a visitor, or someone who hasn't yet been known to us, I invite you to become a part of this beloved community. We encourage you to write in the chat your name and where you're from so we can welcome you. If you'd like to know more about our church, including programming for children and youth, please contact us at hello@ocuuc.org, and we will help you get connected. In addition, we invite you to sign up for our weekly email called The Blast at blast@ocuuc.org. We want everyone to feel a part of this beloved community, so please reach out and we will help you get connected. After the benediction, we will have a short period where everyone can wave and say hello. If you'd like to stay and chat with Reverend Tom, feel free to do that. Or you can choose to be put in Zoom breakout groups for 20 minutes or so. We invite you to check in and get to know the people in your group and welcome any visitors. For announcements today, we have, I believe it was a Stitch Witch. It kind of went by kind of quick. And so there we go. Fiction book club today at 12:30. And there are a few other things for you to stay socially connected with us at the church, including the Rainbow Movie Night. Are We Born Gay? That's next Saturday night. Open mic nights coming up in April 3rd, 7 p.m. Stitch Witch on Saturdays at 10 and social hours at 5 on Friday night, with a Passover Seder on Saturday at 5. Please join us. Now, as we mentioned earlier, it's pledge drive time. And Sandy Martin, our pledge drive chair, has a really fun gift for you. For everyone that turns in their pledge card, you get a cool shopping bag with the OCUUC logo on the side of it. Doesn't matter the amount, even zero. We just need to hear from everyone. You can pick the bag up at the church the next 2 Saturdays, March 27th or April 3rd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you can't make that time or you don't feel comfortable coming by the church just yet, no problem. Sandy will deliver it to you. Just let her or Reverend Sean know, and we will get it to you. One of the bonuses of coming to the church is that you can see all the wonderful renovations that have occurred. Note that we do ask everyone to be properly masked and maintain social distancing. Thank you.
The words of our benediction come to us from the author Barbara Kingsolver. The very least we can do in our life is figure out what we hope for. And the most we can do is then live inside that hope.
And let's sing our goodbye song to each other. Be safe, be well, you mean the world to me. Be safe, be well, you mean the world to me.
This service is over. Let our service continue.